Okay. All right, last week was an adventure, and it demonstrated that we certainly have a lot more to learn. Looking at the different Bible verses written in the original languages. And remember this, when you're looking at that page I gave you last week, you're looking at the original languages, you are not looking at how it was originally written. The language was originally written, all capital letters, no spaces, no punctuation. So at least what you have has breath marks, spaces, what we call capital and lowercase or uncial and minuscule letters. You have all that helps us read it. If you were to pick up Codex Sinaiticus, you'd be arrested. You're not allowed to touch it. But if you were to stand behind glass and look at Codex Sinaiticus, it would be written in all capital letters, no punctuation, no spaces. Every line is the same. It begins and ends, stops at the same point. It's very interesting to see that. But that doesn't mean, however, that what we're doing is not very valuable. What we're doing is very valuable because we are still looking at the language that the Bible was written in. Today we're going to take a step back. Last week we took a gigantic leap forward. We started looking at entire verses, and picking out words and translating. Now we're going to step back. Last week was simply, as I said, it was an attempt to broaden you towards the goal. To be able to look at a verse and to be able to basically interpret what it's saying, going through it. That's sort of the goal of the class. Now we're going to step back and we're going to build our vocabulary a little bit. I said to Shirley this morning we're having a test, and I think I created a little anxiety there, which I did not mean to do. When I said we're having a test, what I meant was this. You're going to receive vocabulary lists. There are 4 lists. When you receive the list, what I want you to do is I want you to take it and I want you to fold it just like this to where all you can see are the Greek words. Because right here are the English. You see? And if you have it like this, your eye is going to wander over to the English and you're going to cheat. So just fold it over. Okay? That way we can test ourselves, not a real test, but we can test ourselves by reading these words. Okay? Everybody understand? So that's why I didn't hand them to you when you first walked in, because you would have already been looking at them. As soon as you get it, you're going to look at the side that says Koine, Greek names of people. That's the one you're looking at, the first one, because there's two-sided. So when you fold it over, you're going to see something on the back. Mine's only one side, but yours is two-sided, say paper. When you fold it over, make sure that you're looking at the one that says the names of people. Everybody got it? Christopher, may I help? May I get your help, please? That's those ones. Goes that way. Those from there. On the back it says numbers, so don't even worry about that one yet. Don't look at your chair. While they're doing that, let's do the alphabet. Who wants to do the whole alphabet? I still consider her a cheater.
And why do you consider her a teacher?
She's done this before. No, go ahead, Miss Florence. You want to do the alphabet for us? It's okay if you don't. Do you want to do it?
You want to write through it, or you want to write down this?
I'm going to write it as you're saying it. So.
Okay, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. See, I can't say it like this.
It's okay. It's okay.
Fast.
Zeta.
Yoda.
Zeta.
Theta.
Theta. Theta. Yoda. It's okay. Like I said, it's not a test. Kappa.
Lambda.
Lambda.
Mu.
Nu. C.
See, I have to say it fast altogether.
Say it. Say it. Say it.
Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, theta, theta, yoga, kappa, lambda, mu, mu, C, P, rho, sigma, tau. Epsilon, Phi, Chi, Omega.
Yay!
Okay. I'm trying to keep up with you. It didn't happen. Yeah. 24 letters. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, psi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, upsilon. Upsilon. Phi, chi, psi, omega. Okay.
If I pronounce things strangely, it's because I had a Yankee professor that
I'm so glad we're recording that because that was funny. You see, what happened was I had a Yankee as a professor. And that always happens. Well, and you know there are different ways people pronounce. People call this pi all the time because everybody that ever took a math class in high school had, pi or square, and you learn to say it that way. People, yeah, that's right. And then you look at other letters and you want to call this T, not tau. You want to call this U, not upsilon, things like that. So it's very common to do that, but also different ways of saying these letters. All right, does everybody have their paper done the way it's supposed to be done? And you're not a cheater, pumpkin eater? Okay. All right, because what we're going to do is we're going to go down the list and we're going to look at these names. These are all names from the New Testament, obviously, because the New Testament is written in Greek. You will also find these names, some of them, in the Septuagint, which is the Greek translation of the Old Testament. Let's begin with a little examination. Who is the first person on this list? Go ahead.
Abraham.
It would be Abraham, but how would we say the name as it's written here? Abraham. Abraham. And there's a little mark there, a little breath mark. It gives so it's not Abraham, stretching out the two A's together, but it's Abraham. That's why I always get, when I see people say the word, this is in English, not Greek. If you see this, how do most people pronounce that? It's an Old Testament false god. Most people pronounce it Baal. But it's not Baal, it's Baal. It's just, there would not be Baal. It wouldn't be pronounced that way. The same way here, it's Abraham. Not Abraham or anything like that. Alright? Next on the list. Let's walk through the letters. You have alpha, lambda, phi, alpha, iota, omicron, sigma. So how would we say this name? Anybody want to give it a shot?
Alpheus.
It would be Alphios, but it would be what we would say Alpheus. Most of us have heard that name in the New Testament. Here, though, the alpha iota diphthong creates the what sound? What is in English, what does AI make? Makes an I sound, like an aisle. So here it's the same thing. The alpha iota diphthong makes the I sound, so it would be Alphios. Okay? Alphios. Alright, what's the next one? Anybody? Andreas. Yes, Andreas. What would be the name that we're looking for there? It would be Andrew. That would be the equivalent, our English equivalent. Andreas would be Andrew. All right. Now this one's a fun one. It's beta alpha rho. So how would you say beta alpha rho? Bar. And then theta omicron lambda. What would that be? Thal. So we have Barthol. We know where we're going with Bartholomew. But it would be omicron mu. And then you have what? The alpha iota diphthong, which makes what sound? I. And then omicron sigma. So it would be Bartholomeos. You see? Bartholomeos.
Yeah, I know the name.
Do you know the next one? Oh, yeah. Okay, who knows the next one?
Frank.
I do.
Okay, what is it?
David.
It is David. 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 Alright, next one. This one looks like English. I mean, this one you could probably sound out if you thought it's just the English letters. It would be Zebedias, which would be Zebedee. Or, well, is it? Yeah, Zebedee on this for the New Testament. Zebedias. All right, how about the next one? It would be Thaddeus. Thaddeus. Because again, the alpha iota construct, that diphthong makes the I sound, so it would be Thaddeus. How would we say it? Thaddeus. Thaddeus. Pretty cool name. However, every time I ever met a guy named Thad, I didn't like him. So I'm sure that's what it's short for. So I haven't met too many of them, but most of them have been jerks. Now somebody's going to watch this. Hi, my name is Thad. Come on, we got to have some levity. All right. What's the next one? Yeah, this one we should know because we've already done it. It is Theos, right? Theos is the name for God. It's the name of God, that's right. All right, or it is the word for God. It's the word where we get theology. All right, here's the next one. How would we say that?
Thomas.
It would be Thomas, yes. But what's the name? Thomas. You ever wonder why Thomas is spelled Thomas? You never wondered that? It's not, we don't, when we call him Tom, how do we spell it? T-O-M. But Thomas has the T-H. It's not Thomas. This name originates in the Greek, and this is where we sometimes get these strange spellings. That's why you spell phone, P-H-O-N-E, rather than phone, F-O-N-E, or F-O-N, with a line over the O. As I said, the dictionary tells us how it's spelled, and then how it should have been spelled. Because that's exactly how it should have been spelled. But anyhow, getting back to this, you have Thomas is theta, omega, mu, alpha, sigma. The next name is Jacob, because it's the omega, not the omicron. So the omega would have the long O, so you have Jacob, and it would have a pronounced ya at the beginning. Jacob, rather than Jacob. Because if you try to say Jacob, what is the sound that you're making? That's the sound. That's the phonetic. I-O makes it ya. That's what's happening here. The iota omega is making it eo, or the iota alpha is making it ya sound. All right, the next one. This one will throw you off a little. I don't expect anyone to get the actual name, but how would we say this? Yes, that's right. Iakobas. Iakob, the omega, O, A. Iakobas. The name is James. So, as I said, don't try to guess that one. The name is James, Iakobas. All right. What's the next one? Okay, let's walk through. It's iota alpha, or I'm sorry, iota epsilon. So iota epsilon, yeah, and then what is the sigma? Make this sound. So yes, and then alpha iota makes what diphthong? I. So yes, I. Yes, I. It's Jesse. The name is Jesse. Yes, I.
That's right, because the Germans put the on it.
Yep. There'll be no German sounds in this one, in this language. All right. What about this one? Anybody got this one? Yay, yay. And then what's the next letter, sigma? Jesus. Sus. So who is Jesus? Jesus, that's right. Alright, so Jesus can be Jesus or Joshua. You see references to Joshua. It would also be Jesus, the same name. In Hebrew, Yeshua. In Greek, Jesus. Alright, what's the next one? You. And then delta, alpha, sigma. You. Das. Judas. 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 The next one would be, yes, be Yitzhak. Or Yitzhak. Because you still have the iota sound at the beginning. Yeah, yeah, Yitzhak. This one's fun. Let's sound it out. Yeah, it would have the iota. It's iota, sigma, kappa. Isk. Alpha, rho, iota. Ari, omega, tau, eta, sigma. Otes. Alright, so now if we say Iscariotes. Iscariot. Judas Iscariot. Iscariotes. Let's take a stab at the next one. Sound it out. Ia, o. Come on, Bobby, I know you can do this.
Swimmy, swamps.
Thank you. Okay, let's sound it. It's iota, omega, alpha, yo, a, nu, eta, sigma, nes, iones, John. I know, doesn't seem fair. That one's a little harder. Why would iones be John? Because John in English is actually a derivative of the name Johann. Johann comes from this. Okay, this is why we spell John with an H. Again, why do we spell Thomas? T-H. When it doesn't make a th. Why do we spell John? J-O-H-N. But Jonathan is spelled J-O-N-A-T-H-O-N. You can't answer because English is foolish. No, but seriously, sometimes names are derived from other names, and we have Johann becoming John. Well, if you think of Janes becoming Johann, becoming John. See, there's sort of how we come to that name now. So there's a little bit of an understanding of how the name sort of has a evolution, so to speak. Not that it ever had legs and crawled out of the ocean. Different type of evolution. Okay? Alright. Okay. Alright, let's follow this one along. Iota, omega, sigma, eta, phi. Yosef. Yes, Joseph. Yosef. Very good. Alright. Most of you know this name. If you sound it out, you'll figure it out. It is Lazarus. Lazarus. It's lambda, alpha, zeta, alpha, rho, omicron, sigma. Lazarus. Yep. All right. The next one? Be Matthias, which would be Matthew. Yeah, Matthew. Matthias. All right. Moving on down the list. Martha. That one actually, mu alpha rho theta alpha. It's actually just read it. It's Martha. Martha. All right. The next one. We did this one last week. So it would be the name for Mary, but it's in Greek, Maria. Maria. Or Maria. Maria. I forgot. You've got to roll that R. Because if you don't, you're speaking to American. Well, they would have spoken, the language that they would have spoken would have been Aramaic, Hebrew, but mostly Aramaic. Aramaic and Hebrew, you forgot to add the in there. It would be Aramaic and Hebrew, but mostly Aramaic. Hebrew would have been the language of worship, would have been the language of the Scriptures, but the dialect would have been the Aramaic. The Greek is the common language, which is why the text is written in Greek. And we have to remember a lot of times that everything we're reading that is said by Christ is a Greek translation of what he said in Aramaic. And as such, when we read Mariam as the name, this is the Greek way of saying the Hebrew name. Okay, and whether I don't have in front of me the information about how Mary would have been said in Hebrew, but I know this is the way the name would have been said in Greek. So if that's what they would have called her, I don't know if Mariam is just the way it's pronounced in Greek, or if that is it's actually transliterated from Hebrew. I have to look that up. I don't know. All right. The next one. Who wants to try it? It is. And it would be nu alpha theta nath, alpha nu alpha ana, and then epsilon lambda. So it would be Nathanael or Nathanael. All right, the next one we did last week as well. Nicodemus. That's right, Nicodemus. The next one. What's the first letter? P. So it would be Paulos, which would be the name Paul. The Apostle Paul. The next name? Petros, which is Peter. Also, stone or rock, because that's where we get word petrified to be when wood is petrified, it becomes stone-like. When somebody's petrified, they're scared, frozen solid like a stone. Petros. All right, next one down. It'd be Pilatus, or Pilatas. It'd be Pilate. Okay, now, the next one down, what is the first letter? Sigma. Sigma. Remember, the capital sigma looks like somewhat of an E. In fact, one time I saw this and it frustrated me. It had a guy had a hat on and it said this. What he was trying to say geek.
Yeah.
But it missed it. It said. Yeah. You're such a geek. You don't even know the dead language you're trying to talk about. Yeah, but that was the. I remember seeing that and I was thinking that doesn't say geek. But so yeah, the capital sigma it'll catch you every time because it looks like an E. Your mind is used to seeing an E. when you see that shape of a letter, so be careful on that one. But yeah, no. So if it starts with sigma and it rhymes with Paulos, it would be Salos, and it's the name Saul. Alright, so the next one is also begins with sigma. What is it?
Simon.
It's Simon in English. How would we say it in Greek? Simon. Simon. The hard O sound, the omega is there. Another time when we say Simon, we put the sort of the I sound gets the stress. Simon. Theirs would be Simon, and it would have the hard O sound. Okay? The next letter that starts the next word is P. So it'd be Philippos. That's right, Philippos. So what's the name? Philip. Absolutely right. Finally, what do we have? Christos. Right, Christos, which is... Alright, open it up and see how you did it. Now you can look at your sheet. This is now yours. You can take it, and this is a very large vocabulary list, but it's not a hard vocabulary list because it's all names. It's all things that as soon as you go through them a few times, you'll get familiar with them. Then every time you see them in the text of Scripture, you'll recognize, hey, this is a name of a person. And this gives you most of the major characters in the New Testament. Most of the people you're going to run into at various times in reading through the New Testament. So you've got this as a sheet to help you out. Now, on the back of that same sheet, you're going to see Koine Greek numbers. This is from Mounce's textbook, by the way. This is where this comes from. Mounce has a very good Greek study program that he put together. And this is some of where I'm getting these sheets from is from his site, which provides a great amount of vocabulary lists to study. And what we're still doing is we're still learning to sound out the alphabet. We're still learning how to put put letters together to make words. And so walking through these is just to help us out. Now, I don't want you to fold this over because there's really no need, because you could just say, okay, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, because they're going to go in order. However, I do want to reference something for you. You're going to see here ordinal numbers and cardinal numbers. You might want to write that down. The left list, the left side of the list is cardinal numbers. Cardinal numbers. What is a cardinal number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are cardinal numbers. On the other side, above where it says Greek, those are ordinal numbers. What's the difference? Ordinal expresses order. First, second, third, fourth. That's ordinal. Cardinal numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down. Ordinal numbers is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on. You'll notice that there are times where there is not a reference. It just leaves it blank. That's because this number, whether in an ordinal or cardinal form, is not expressed in the New Testament. Okay? That's all. You're not going to run into it, so not a big deal. All right. All right. So looking at first, we'll go through the cardinal numbers. Number 1 is expressed in 3 different ways. The number 1 is expressed first in the word which is spelled epsilon iota sigma, which would be said how? Well, what is the epsilon iota diphthong? Think about the word 8. E-I-G-H-T begins with what sound? A sound, right? So the epsilon iota diphthong works the same way, so it would be pronounced ace. Ace. So ace, 1. What's the next one on that same line? Mia. Mia. Mia would be 1.
I think maybe that's where we get the ace of spades in our card games. You know, the ace,
I don't know.
it sounds the same.
Oh, it sounds the same, yes. And I don't know if there would be any root connection there or not. Never thought about it before now. Interesting. I don't know. But that's a good way, even if not, that's a great way to remember it.
Right.
Ace is number 1, ace is number 1. That would be a real good way of remembering that as a word. Mia also is 1. Mia. Can't give you any way to remember that. Mama Mia. I don't know. That doesn't really help you remember number 1. Okay, and then the final one there look at it. What does it have above the epsilon? It has a breath mark, which is a backwards comma. Remember what we said? If it's got a normal comma above an epsilon or any vowel, if it's got a normal comma above the vowel, it's a normal way to say the vowel. Ep, ep. But if there's a backwards comma above it, I just did it. Again. If you have a backwards comma above the epsilon, what does the backwards comma tell us? What do you add to the letter? The ha sound. Yeah, the ha sound. So in this you have hin. All right, because it has the backward. It has the breath. All right, now let's walk through these numbers. Now that first one, like I said, number 1 is expressed in ace, mia, and hin. So you've got 3 ways to express the number 1.
And why would there be 3 ways to express it? Is it like, you know, does it mean anything different when it's expressed?
Not that I know of. It's one of those times where there's more than one word that can express the same thing, and I don't know of any times where you couldn't interchange one or the other. So I don't know of any reason for there being multiple uses. So I'd have to look that up. I don't know why. No, I don't think it would do with dialect as much. And it could be wrong, but I wouldn't say it would have as much to do with dialect, and rather use in syntax and how a sentence fits together, whether you would use one or the other. Sort of like I talked about last week when you have a and there are phonetic reasons for using a or and. There may be phonetic reasons for using these. There may also be. Did I say that? I said what was the word I used? Syntax. There may be syntactical reasons. Sentence construction that would require one over the other. All right. The next one should be easy for us to remember because, what is it?
Duo.
Duo. What do we think of when we think of duo?
Batman.
Batman. Thank you. Dynamic duo. Thank you. There's 2 of them. I like you. The dynamic duo. That's right. So duo is 2. Number 3. How would we say 3? What would be the number? Tris.
No roll the R.
Huh?
No roll the R.
I can't hear you.
Don't roll the R.
Tris. But it wouldn't be trace or trace. It would be tris.
It would be Spanish.
Yeah, trace would be Spanish. Tris is epsilon signal or iota signal. I'm sorry. All right. Courtney has a question. Yes.
Why are all the I's dotted?
They're not dotted, dear. That's a stress mark. It's a
Accent mark.
what's that?
Accent mark.
Yeah, it's an accent mark. It's not a dot. That's why they don't use dots, because they could easily be confused with the accent mark. All right. The accent mark is like a stress mark. It's stressing that. Duo. Tris. Tesaurus. That's 3. Tesaurus. All right. I'm sorry, 4. That's 4. Tesaurus is 4. All right. The next one should be easy to remember. How do we say that? Penta.
Penta.
What do we have that we start with penta? Pentagram. 5-point star. Right? Ooh, that's a devil thing. Yes, but still can help you remember. It's pentagram. All right, 6. Hex. Think of it. Hexagon. 6 points. Hexagon. Number 7. Hepta. That's right. Hepta. Because again, you got the backwards comma. That's telling us to go ha-ha, not ah-ah. All right. Number 8. Octo. That should be easy, right? We talk about octopus has 8 legs. Dr. Octopus has 8 arms. What? Octomom has 8 kids. Octo. Yeah, octagon. All right. Number 9. Enea. Number 9. Enea. And then number 10 is deca. Deca. So, doing the numbers, es, duo, tres, or tres, thesaurus, penta, ex, or hex, hepta, octo, enea, deca. Now, when you start over at 11, you will notice that it's very much like English. When we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we start over and go 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Basically, we're adding the one number to the 10. 13, 14. This is this plus this. And then you get to 21, 22, and like that. Japanese, easy to learn not that we're learning Japanese, but if you were to learn Japanese, once you learn to count to 10, it's very easy to learn to count the rest. Ichi, ni, san, chi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Once you get to ju, you just start adding ju-ichi, ju-ni, ju-san, ju-shi, ju-go, and then you go ne-ju-ichi, ne-ju-san. But it's the same as English. It's 21, 22. The same here. When you get down to 10, 11 is endeka. Endeka. Well, you go back up to number 1. What's one of the uses of 1 is en. And then you add the 10. It's endeka. And then do-deka. 12. Deca, tres. Here's where we trace. Like what the way Bobby was trying to. That would be it. Deca, tres. And then deca. I have a hard time saying the 14. Deca, tesseres. Deca, tesseres. And then deca, pente. So there. You're just adding the 10 to the number. You see it there. Then 18, deca octo. 20, I-ko-si, I-ko-si. And then it's 30, tria-ak-onta. And then 40, tessera-konta. 50, pente-konta. 60, hexe-konta. 70, ebdome-konta. So you have all the way down. And then 200, diake, or diakosias. Right. Running people out of the room. All the way down to 10,000. You have Morias. I want to look at this real quick because you have under 1,000 you have group is Kilias, and then a specific 1,000 would be Kilioi, and then you have 10,000 if there's a group of 10,000 or a specific 10,000, or if it's just 10,000 plus, meaning countless. So you have Murias, Murioi, or Murias os instead of us. It's a little bit different pronunciation. It's hard to hear it, but it's whether it be an ending with an alpha sigma versus omicron sigma. But this gives you an idea of what is being used here. Now, where would this be important? This kind of numbering thing.
Instead of covers 10,000 troops coming.
Is it talking about 10,000 specific, or is it talking about 10,000 as in 10,000 plus? Is it countless? So yeah, there would be definitely times where understanding the different uses here would be important. All right, we got one. Yes, sir.
Question. This is the way you spell out the numbers. Do they have a numerical system like us, like a 1, a mark for a 1, or a mark for a 2? Now we can spell out 1, or we can have the number 1.
Don't know. A lot of don't know. So I'm learning now.
But you'll find it.
I'll find out. That's a good question. I'll have to look that up if they have a
We
numerical.
just use the Roman numeral.
Are you being sarcastic?
That's my job.
Well, I was being serious, but kind of segued into sarcastic.
Okay, I was just checking. You're probably right. I didn't think about Roman numeral. Maybe. I haven't looked into that. I don't know. And seriously, because you won't run into that in the scripture, you're not going to run into the number 1. You would see a word like we would use 1. So that's, again, not been part of what I've looked at. But that's a good question.
Okay, another question.
Fantastic.
If this is based on what we'll see in the New Testament, why is it like 5,000 here? Remember how Jesus fed 5,000?
Also a good question. I don't know. This is Mounce's numbers. You think that would be a part?
Yeah. I didn't know if they used.
Well, what text is the feeding of the 5,000 in?
It's in Matthew.
Look that up real quick.
Since there's 3,000.
If you don't have anything else that you keep with you at all times, electronic concordance is always handy. Especially if you're a pastor, people always say, "Where's that verse?" And you sound magical because you can pull it up in just a second. Just give me a second to think. Find that, no problem. It's Mark 6:44, Matthew 14:21. I'll look at Matthew passage. Matthew 14:21. Matthew 14:21. And those who ate were 5,000. It's penta kis kilioi. So it's penta, 5, which we've looked at. Kis kilioi. It's very hard to pronounce. Penta kis kilioi. Try that again. It's penta, then it's kappa iota sigma kis. Then it's chi iota lambda kil. And then it's iota omicron iota ioi. So it's kis kilioi. Penta kis kilioi. It's not there though. It's not on this, but it is in the text. So it doesn't have all the numbers apparently. Yes, ma'am. Sure. Absolutely. All right.
What was that look all about?
There was no look. Don't interpret the looks.
It's a look of fear.
I'm gonna have to do it, and I'm gonna have to do it because I don't have enough space. It's all one word though. Penta, kappa, iota, sigma, chi, iota, lambda, iota, omicron, iota. Don't give me a hard time about having to sound that out. That's just a long word. Penta, kis, ki, li, ioi. 5,000, which is a lot. A lot of letters, that's right. But then again, if you think about it, a lot of letters in the word in the number 5,000. If you were teaching somebody English, 5 versus 5,000, there's a lot more letters the same way here. All right, looking very quickly, we don't really have time. Let's just walk through. I'll just say these real quick because this is the ordinal numbers, not the cardinal numbers. Ordinal, protos. That's, if you think protos is first, the first to come, proto, if you think of like, huh? Well, proto-evangel, but I was thinking like prototype, first of a kind. Deuteros, Deuteronomy, yes.
Like a law.
Huh?
Like a giving of a law.
Yep, the second giving of the law. Tritos is third. Tetartos is the fourth. Pimptos is fifth. Ektos, sixth, or hectos, not ektos, hectos is sixth. Hebdamos, seventh. Agdus, eighth. Decatos is 10th. So you have 10 is deca, 10th is decatos. So that's an easy one. Dodecatos is 12th. 14th is incredibly long. Thesaurus kai decatos. That was actually easier than 5,000. Thesaurus kai decatos. And then Pentakai decatos, 15th. All right. So there you have a very expanding vocabulary now. You've got names. You've got numbers. You can look at a Greek New Testament. You've got words from last week that are very common. You can look at a Greek New Testament, start seeing words that you might recognize. Now, where do we go from here? Next week, I have a list of verbs. And we may even get to prepositions. We're going to have to talk about genitive, dative, or genitive, dative, and accusative. And that's going to get kind of difficult. I want to get to word studies, though. And I said this was going to be a 6-week class. I'm beginning to think it's going to go a bit longer than that. However, if you can't stay past 6 weeks, if you've only allotted time for this 6 weeks and you need to go back to your regular Sunday school class or whatever, you can feel free to do that. I'm going to try to at least do one major word study before the 6 weeks is up. So next week we're going to go over this list and we're going to go over a list of prepositions. I'm sorry, these are verbs. Yeah, we're going to go over this and prepositions. And then we're going to do one major word study in 2 weeks. Don't know what it's going to be, what the word study will be, but we're going to do it from beginning to end in class. So be ready. Got a lot to learn. God bless you. Get ready for church.